Hello, Good Shepherd and Saints Francis and John. I'm Father Lin Nguyen with SSFJ. This week we prepare with the Gospel message for the 5th Sunday of Lent. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. The sister of Lazarus sent word to Jesus saying, "Master, the one you love is ill." When Jesus heard this, he said, "This illness is not to end in death, but is for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was ill, he remained for 2 days in the place where he was. Then after this, he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary sat at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise." Martha said, "I know he will rise in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I have come to believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, the one who is coming into the world." He became disturbed and deeply troubled and said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Sir, come and see." And Jesus wept. To the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not the one who opened the eyes of the blind man have done something so that this man would not have died?" So Jesus, disturbed again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay across it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the dead man's sister, said to him, "Lord, by now there will be a stench. He has been dead for 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus raised his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you for hearing me. I know that you always hear me. But because of the crowd here, I have said this, that they may believe that you sent me." And when he had said this, he cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, tied hand and foot with burial bands, and his face was wrapped in a cloth. So Jesus said to them, "Untie him and let him go." Now many of the Jews who had come to Mary and seen what he had done began to believe in him. Friends, as we approach closer to the Passion of Christ and prepare to celebrate Easter, we have the chance to hear great compelling passage of Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. This beautiful story is pointing to the power of hope in faith of Christ's resurrection. In our daily living, there is a danger embedded in our conviction that God can transform any suffering, rendering suffering meaningless. Sometimes we hear it's all for the best. Everything happens for a reason. God has a plan. Jesus turns these platitudes on their heads when he raises Lazarus and states, I am the resurrection and the life. Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of God, says unambiguously that he is the God of life. He does not will our suffering. He weeps with us as we grieve. He feels the separation of dead. Authentic hope is something different than platitudes. It is a belief that in those moments when we most struggle, Jesus is here with us. Here is something for family to consider. Is there a family or someone your family knows who is in need of a compliment during their suffering? Maybe they are suffering because of the loss of a loved one, or perhaps they are struggling with a long illness of some kind. Give them the gift of your family's time. You could invite them to your home or prepare a meal for them and offer to come to their home for dinner. Before your family visits with them, pray together and ask Jesus to help you offer consolation. Accompanying others in their struggles with the heart of Christ will spur spiritual growth for everyone involved. God bless, and see you at Mass.